Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres, so join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome to the Podcast of Power, the only Lord of the Rings Rings of Power podcast ever available on the internet, ever, past, present, and future. I'm your host, Mike White. I'm joined by, of course, Mr. Chris Stachiw.
I'm actually an AI robot paid for by Amazon. That's just it's one of those AI bots that just took all my podcasts and just starts stringing it together to make sense. Hello.
Alexa.
I like Lord of the Rings.
Alexa, did you take over the podcast again?
No, I'm sorry, Mike. I mean, user. How many times have you watched Lord of the Rings, Mike? I mean, user.
This episode, we're talking about the eye. It's not the eye you're thinking of. It's not the old brown eye.
It's not the old brown eye or the old whispering eye even.
No. This is Galadriel's eye that opens up, or is it the Queen's eyes that get torched in a very dubious sequence?
Or is it the eye of Sauron? It's not that. It's not that.
No,
I don't think it's that.
No. We don't even say the word Mordor. We get it in a very cheesy. Oh, it was the Southlands, but now it's Mordor.
Oh God, what was that? Oh Lord,
don't call it the Southlands anymore. I'll think of something.
That's what I was waiting for. It's not the Southlands anymore. Yeah. Boy, hey, you know what? For as ham-fisted as that is, because it is kind of ham-fisted, right? I think the episode was kind of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time with this one, and we get all the storylines.
Oh, I was shocked.
Me too.
What is going on, show? We have ramped it up significantly, and actually given Galadriel something to do.
Yeah, other than just mope.
or say one-liners that are going to be in the trailer for the first season of the show. I have a tempest within me. Now let me repeat this line 8 times. Yeah, no, she actually is given a fair amount of things to do with Theo. Though what were the stakes of the volcano exploding? Can I ask you that? Are you able to discern what the stakes were? Because I'm having a tough time here.
Not yet. I don't know how many people are dead. I don't know how many people are alive. I don't know who's lost. I don't know who's found. I guess
remove Galadriel from all this. Like what?
Yeah,
she doesn't get hurt. Fine, she's an elf. But how does it? What? Okay, I have a hard time understanding because all of a sudden, some characters are dead, some characters have disappeared, some characters are blind, but nobody dies.
Well, there's that one dude who was like, I think I'm going to retire now. I'm done with the sailing life. And he's the one that I think they couldn't pull out, or he's dead underneath that pile.
Yeah, he eats shit real fast.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't expect this episode to pick up right where because I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, it picks right back up where we were. And it's like, oh yeah, so now we're going to separate everybody again for this episode. We have Galadriel and Theo going off on their kind of vision quest together. I don't know, to make right or something. They get separated from the group, and then everybody else, sans Isildur, because apparently Isildur's dead, but we all know
he can't be dead,
right? We all know better. Right? Show like, would you stop this shit? Like, yes, Isildur, my son is dead. So that was a fucking lie. Like he can't. Oh, yeah, but so Muriel the Queen is blinded in all of this. Seems to be the only one. So we find out that she's blind, and then the rest of the episode really has nothing to do with them, which I was kind of okay with.
Yeah.
Once we pivoted away from Galadriel and Theo and Elendil and Muriel, and for whatever reason, Halbrand is also like half dead.
Yeah. Off screen, this attack happens, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird. We've kind of had this weird issue with the Numenor storyline up until this point not being particularly interesting. And when it met up with the Arondir storyline, I was like, okay, like maybe this is going to go somewhere now. And not really. Still kind of spinning its wheels. Now they have to go on a fetch quest to heal Halbrand, and maybe we'll find out who he's supposed to be. But yeah, now Galadriel is tasked once again with going off to save somebody else again. Okay.
Yeah.
But speaking of going on journeys, the Harfoots, man, I was glad to see them back, and I was glad to kind of see that all of the Harfoots have kind of come around to the stranger. Can't call him Gandalf anymore because I think you're right. I think he's Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil, yeah, 100%.
I think you're right, Mike.
Yeah.
I was pleased to see that the show has kind of pivoted them in an interesting direction regarding him. They're not all just kind of like, oh, he's such a terrible, like, pox upon us. Like, no, you're about to find out who apparently we're finding out who the real pox upon the land is with, again, introduction of more new character. They've already introduced them, but we still don't even know who they are.
Well, I'll tell you who they are. They're the nomad, the ascetic, and the dweller. So yeah, they don't tell us who they are, because who the fuck is the nomad, the ascetic, and the dweller?
I couldn't tell you.
No, me neither.
But so early on in like the stuff that they were showing for the show, they showed that one character, the one with the close cropped hair.
Yeah, and everyone's like, the nomad. Edith Poor is her name.
Everyone's like, that's Sauron. I guess everybody forgot that was also a female actor.
Well, she does have a little bit of an androgynous look.
Very much so.
With that very short haircut and stuff. Because, I mean, I think I referred to her as Eminem the last time we spoke about her.
I thought it was a male character.
Yeah.
And then it's made very clear in this episode that it is a female character, which is interesting because now I really no idea who these characters are supposed to be. But they seem to have some connection to the stranger. They seem to be looking for him and continuing to follow him. And he heals all the trees and then leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. He makes like a tree and leaves.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Sorry. And yeah, we get this this trio and they're after him. And when she puts the fire out with her hand, I was just like, oh, that's kind of badass. And then when she's just like, oh, and by the way, I'm going to torch this fucking village. I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't expect that. To me, that was more of a conflagration, more of a horrible thing than all the stuff that just happened in the Southlands, aka Mordor.
Yeah, I agree. There were some stakes to it. Like that's why I asked the thing about the volcano exploding. Like, what are the stakes of this? Like, now that orcs can walk around in the daylight, so we have to worry about them 50% more of the time, because apparently it was just, 50% of the time you had to worry about them. 50% of the time they were just hanging out, doing whatever. So, okay. So I guess still try. I mean, we know what Mordor becomes. So that's what the important thing is Mordor is where Sauron forges the ring and where the ring of power can be destroyed. Fine. Mm-hmm. But the show has not done a good job of establishing what it being Mordor means, other than it is now Mordor. That's it. Like, it doesn't, what does that mean for the show? And they haven't told us yet. And maybe that's going to be focus of one of the seasons. But like, I would just like to have known, like, they didn't know what they were preventing, I think, is the problem. And so therefore the stakes can't be inherently obvious right out of the gate, at least not in this first episode post the explosion.
And I didn't realize that I guess maybe I kind of realized that the rune that the stranger puts up in the sky is the same rune that was on the sword, basically that mark of Mordor. And when Lenny Henry hands him the little scrap of paper, I'm just like, oh yeah, now I remember it was that same shape, and that's basically that map of Mordor that Galadriel found in the library there on Numenor. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So is he trying to find Mordor?
I don't know. You're really enjoying saying Mordor.
I am. Almost as much as Makunaima.
Makunaima is a good one. Sauron. Yeah, I love Mordor. Durin.
When Hugo Weaving says Mordor, I'm just like, yes.
I was there, Gandalf. 3,000 years ago in Mordor.
When I was a nerd with very pointy features. Yes.
God, oh Lord.
I like that guy. And I
know he just looks like a dorky guy. He looks like Doogie Elrond. He really does. That haircut. Look, they're gonna have him have a different haircut in the second season. There's no way, right? He looks like a dweeb. And I really like him. He's super endearing. Robert Aramayo as Elrond is actually, I mean, everything with him and the dwarves is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Still, like, hardcore best part of the show.
But holy cow, speaking of the dwarves, my goodness, Mrs. Durin. Wow.
What was going on?
Wow. It seems like she's just been like pouring poison into the young Durin's ear. I'm just like, holy cow,
Did you see her eyes in that scene?
Oh, yeah.
They were yellow.
Where did this come from, man?
They were yellow with avarice for gold. I don't know. I feel like, okay, the show, like I was talking about this on the Game of Thrones podcast, and this Lord of the Rings show in this first season has a very unique problem that I do not like. It's not a unique problem, but it's a problem we've seen before. The question is, who is Sauron? Like, who, right? Because that's the question. Like, who is he? He's somebody on the show, right? They've said that he's...
Is that right?
Well, that's what they've essentially... The showrunners have said, like, he's in the show. So people are taking that to be like, well, he's in the show already. So who is he? And so it's like, is it the stranger? Is it Halbrand? Is it da-da-da-da? Is it da-da-da? And it's like, I feel like the best way to do Sauron would be to have Sauron be less a person and more like a force of will and of nature that influences people to do things that set the pieces in motion. We know what now, as an audience member, you know what's going to happen in Khazad-dûm. Mm-hmm. Before, it was all the, if you'd read the books, if you've seen the movies, if you know that what Khazad-dûm is and Moria, like, if you knew that before, you knew where this was going. But now the show has made it explicitly clear what is going to happen with Khazad-dûm in the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually fucking shocked that is episode 8 of the first season of the show, or episode 7 of the first season of the show, where we are seeing a Balrog on screen. Holy cow, man. what?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. And that Balrog looks really good.
Oh my God, it looks better than it. We haven't seen a Balrog since Fellowship. I mean, they showed it when they were talking about how Mithril was made, which again, would like to forget that as much as possible.
Oh boy, yeah.
But this is the first time we've seen a modern CGI Balrog, and it looks fucking amazing. I know it was being lit essentially from itself, but it looked great. The fire effects look great. I mean, look, I'm not some sort of CGI dilettante or anything, but I'll take what I can get when it comes to stuff like this looking good. And I'm sure they're going to overuse it and it's going to be a big deal at some point in the show. But right now, that was a really effective moment.
I mean, Balrogs aren't that tough, right? You just throw them through the entire world and have a wizard beat them up and they're pretty much taken care of.
You just fall to the bottom and fight all the way to the lowest fucking point into the highest peak of the mines. Yeah. And then he just dies after you die in the process of trying to kill it.
Right. Yeah. And at least you get to come back from the dead.
Right.
With a new outfit.
Right. Saruman as he was meant to be. It's funny to me. The other thing that I was really surprised by is how quickly everything is going with Elrond and the Durin story, and especially Durin with his father.
Oh, yeah.
It is sped up and taken kind of a quick turn to, I guess, major conflict.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the last 2 episodes, like what the conflict was, because it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And now it's a big deal all of a sudden.
Yeah, it feels like they really went into high gear. And then I'm just like, well, does Galadriel and Arondir, do they know that the elves are in trouble? It doesn't feel like it. Like, is it just like the elves that hang out by this tree or what?
It's the elf cognoscenti that know.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I interpret it. It's like the elf, because Elrond is like elf royalty because his dad is Gil-galad and like, you know, he's elf royalty. So I guess he would theoretically be privy to these kinds of problems where it's like a overarching big issue that the elves are going to have to deal with as a race at large. I would think he would, like, of anyone to know that, it would probably be Elrond and Elrond's dad and Celebrimbor. But yeah, it's weird because the idea that Mithril like brings the elves back to life it's shown very ham-fistedly. It's shown in a very dorky way in this episode that feels like a show not as well written as this show can be. It feels like a very dorky show where it's like we have the Mithril on the table and we have the leaf on the table and the leaf starts coming back to life. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And so I'm just like, so since Elrond has a piece of Mithril, will he just like be like, oh, cool, I'm going to keep this in my pocket and I'll be healthy for lots of years. Almost like I had a ring of power in my pocket.
Right. Like that's what what I don't get is the stakes of Mithril are what? That if somebody else gets it, they prevent the elves from surviving? Or is it that the dwarfs would never give it up? Is it that the dwarfs just don't want to give it up because of them knowing something's down there? Or I just can't figure out what the stakes of Mithril are. Because if you're the elves, you just go and take it by force.
Yeah.
Right? I don't understand. Like if the survival of your race is at a crossroads, you just go take it by force.
Pretty much you have to. I mean, that's what we did with Iraq. We had to take all that oil.
I mean, aren't the elves an occupying force in this show?
They are totally an occupying force.
I mean, that's all I wonder is like you said, like who knows outside of this like small group of like decision makers in the world of the Lord of the Rings? Because there are elves that are just common elves that probably don't know anything, don't think anything of whatever is going on. And they may not even have any idea that that's going on. Like, I think to your point, like, do they know that these things, like, can they feel themselves dying? So I don't know.
There's a tree with leaves that have black oil on them. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I just did an X-Files crossover. Sorry.
I know, right? And I guess the other thing I again, just not to pick at the episode, but just kind of the bigger qualms that I had with it was that the way that they treat Bronwyn's character, like stop giving us, like stop making her dead, but not
please.
dead. what is the deal with that? Like, stop using the death of this character as motivation for anything, because now you've done it twice in the span of 2 episodes. It's more unbelievable that she survived the volcano explosion while looking the way she did last episode. Yeah. Like, they should have done it now, not then, when it's like they've baited it twice. No, I just think that's really lazy screenwriting.
Yeah, and the whole thing of Isildur's dad just like, oh, hey, it's Isildur. Oh, just another guy. Okay. Oh, and his horse. And we're going to let his horse go. And like,
then follow his horse. Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, his horse is like bonded to him. So follow his goddamn horse.
And it kind of reminds me of Borrego from the Two Towers, where it's just like, oh, my master fell. I'm going to go down here and help him out and take him back to Helm's Deep.
Right. It's like that always felt like to me. I don't know how that's always rubbed me the wrong way in Two Towers. That whole Aragorn is dead thing. Because it kind of works in the book, I guess. But
there's not enough time.
No, at all. You have to give the audience a moment to grieve the goddamn character if you're going to kill the character.
Give them a moment, for pity's sake.
Right? It's like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand. You can't kill a character and then just be like, nah, they're back. I mean, they did that in that Star Wars movie. They're like, Chewbacca's dead. Just kidding. No, he's not. Like, he's back away. What? Like, fucking come on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my lady, he fell. Oh, I'm just kidding. Here he is.
Yeah. God. I've been playing the Lego Lord of the Rings game. That's literally how it happens in Lego Lord of the Rings. He's like, he fell, and then he just goes, bang, and opens the gate in the same scene. And it's like, yeah, I can get down with this being the way it would have gone in the movie, because it's so unnecessary. And it's unnecessary here. It's like 5 minutes of a 72-minute episode that they give time to this like nonsense of trying to convince us that these characters, oh, maybe Bronwyn's dead, maybe Arondir's dead. Now at this point, I'm just going to assume that they're not going to die at all in this show. Like, we're going to be watching them have a wrap up at the end of this show's run. We're going to see maybe both of them, but definitely one of the two still alive. Like, you've already started coding your characters in plot armor that we didn't know had plot armor. Well, there's some characters we know have plot armor, like Elrond, Galadriel, Isildur, Elendil. Like, we know that they have story built in plot armor. Why they're doing that with the characters that we don't know, that are created for the show or are new characters, it seems counterintuitive, because to give that scene some weight and some real darkness, they might have wanted to kill Bronwyn. They might have wanted to maybe have another character that could have died there.
Right.
If you really want to kill a character to give it some weight. But I'm not even sure that that's a worthwhile argument anymore. Like, killing characters to give scenes emotional weight, I feel like I don't know. I feel like there are better ways to give characters motivation to achieve things per the script. I think there's better ways to do it than killing characters off. So
yeah, I agree. And it's like, please just do something. You know, like you said, we can't just have Bronwyn near death every single episode just to make Theo or Arondir freak out.
Right. And then I've done it twice. Like, I guess my overall hope with this show is we have a better understanding after the next episode of what. I still don't understand what's going on really in the show. I don't think the show has made it very clear what's going on. I think it's held back a lot of the cards. I mean, it held back the cards in what Adar was trying to achieve. We still don't really know what's going on with the Mithril outside of that Elrond and Doran are messing around with it. The character of the stranger is still a stranger. Still, I'm surprised we're at the penultimate episode of the show's first season, and we still don't know who he is. I'm kind of surprised.
I'm not surprised. I think that next episode, they will probably have a whole series of mini reveals right at the end. And I think he will be one of the mini reveals. It feels like each storyline could have a reveal, like who is Halbrand? Who is the stranger? what is Durin's real motivation, or like what's going on with Disa and her sudden turn against the king, or
Her sudden turn to the dark side.
yeah, because gosh, she was speaking like Darth Sidious in this episode. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, her eyes are yellow, and she's
the king is too old. His mind is filled with poison. And I was like, whoa, hey, hello.
Yeah, is she Sauron?
I know, right?
I mean, that would be it would make sense because again, to get the dwarfs out of the mountain. Yeah. I mean, best way to get the dwarfs out of the mountain is just tell them to keep digging for that mithril so that they can essentially destroy themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dug too deep, too greedy. I think Durin or Disa are too greedy. And yeah, she's got him exactly where she wants him.
Yeah, I have to go. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch. Is there any sense or hint that was going on up until this point?
No, I mean, her eyes have always been kind of this weird color. But as far as like her speaking so much against Durin's father and just like, well, he's an old fool. And I'm just like, this is not the Disa I know from the rest of these episodes.
Yeah. I don't want to say that she's Sauron, but I think that there is a case that could be made for, again, like the multiple implementation of Sauron throughout each storyline, I think is probably a better way of looking at it. Because there's no way you can convince me that Adar is acting of his own volition. Like maybe he is. Maybe Sauron just takes advantage of it. But I can't help but wonder, like, that has to have some play into it. Is Sauron is behind all of this?
Oh, yeah. There's no way Adar's just like, you know what? I feel really bad for these orcs.
Right. That I can walk out in the sunlight and they can't.
Yeah. What am I going to do for these guys? What if I darken the sun somehow? How can I do an explosion? I think I might have an idea. Hey, come on over here. Let's start digging.
Yeah. Again, like that, it's funny, like as wild as Mount Doom exploding was for the show, like I still have no idea what it means for the narrative writ large, other than the sky is darkened. That's it, which is not much.
Right. And I'm sorry, but like I watched this episode twice because I was just like, wait a second. At the beginning, the queen is saving people and then she's blind. When does that happen? And the moment of her being blinded is so meh. It's like, is that when it happened? Is that how it did? Because it's like, there's no weight to that moment. And even if they were just like, well, this could have happened at this point, but it doesn't feel like it.
Well, I think my other issue with her being blind is what does that mean for a character that we don't really care about?
Exactly.
What does it mean for? Yeah, like why does that matter? Because now she goes back to Numenor to supposedly come back when they need them. But I mean, good, really.
Yeah.
Good. Does Elendil leave with her?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes, he did. Because he's so pissed off about Isildur.
Right. So that's interesting. So Isildur is just in Middle-earth now.
Yeah.
By himself.
Just wandering around.
That could be interesting. Yeah. I would be interested to see where they go with that.
Well, especially you give him like a little Dobby sidekick and then they go out and they solve mysteries every week. It'd be great.
Or give him like that he forgets who he is and he's just wandering. That's probably what they're going to do. Like,
and then he like looks down and says, do not trust Sammy Jamkus.
Oh, wow. I think my other kind of concern with this show going into the last episode is this episode felt like the last episode of the season.
It did, yeah.
In a really weird way. Because they essentially sent everybody out on yet another quest.
Right.
Which is very final episode of the season-y, if that makes sense. Like, it's just, that feels like a convention that I expect from something like this.
Right. Well, how else are they going to suddenly save someone from doing something or about to get killed unless there's one group that's out there wandering and there's another person that gets in trouble, and then right before they die or something bad happens, this group shows up and saves the day? How else are we going to do that?
Yeah, we're going to do that again over and over and over again.
You can only look to the east at the dawning of the fifth day so many times.
Apparently, but in this show, you can do it a lot.
Yeah,
God.
it's dawn all over the place.
I honestly thought that when those like weirdos burned the Harfoots huts, that the stranger was going to come back and stop it, or it was going to be like a vision or something.
Mhm.
I was not expecting that, but yeah, like it has more weight than anything else. And like to your point, like I guess finally we have something in the show that sticks. That matters, like you said, that matters, that somebody doesn't come in and save at the last moment. That feels like the big thing that happened this episode.
Even then, I don't know how many of the Harfoots were actually in their traveling things.
If any.
Right. Because at the end, it's like all of these Harfoots there. And I like how her dad, Nori's dad, gets that speech. We're Harfoots. We stick together. And I'm just like, oh boy, here comes a big speech coming up. Like everybody just stops what they're doing and starts looking at him. I'm like, okay.
I like that actor who plays her dad. We haven't seen him doing enough on the show.
It's because he's Sauron.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I knew it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see where that goes with Lenny Henry and the Nori, I guess.
Nori and Poppy.
Sadok. Yeah.
Should be nice.
It felt very Fellowship.
Oh boy, yeah.
Right.
But that whole like, we're not going to let our friend, perish, and these bad forces are after him, and I mean, talk about Fellowship when those three orcs are up on the hill and Theo and Galadriel are down below and they're hiding from them. I'm just like, of course the one orc is sniffing for them. I'm just like, oh, this is so Fellowship of the Ring with the ring wraith there. And, I was waiting for her to like, her eyes roll back in the back of her head and like almost puts on the ring. Oh no. Okay. Phew.
There was I don't know if you heard it. There was a ring audio stinger when Galadriel and Theo were talking, and he says something about like, I don't understand why this happened. She says something to the effect of like, we don't know why some of these things happen, but they will have they may have an effect on everyone in the future. And then you hear the fucking.
Oh wow!
It's like, oh my God, yeah. It's just like a very subtle, like two or three notes of it, but it's like, yeah. We know this is the story with the MacGuffin to end all MacGuffins.
Right.
It really is.
We are at the penultimate episode of the first season. The show is named Rings of Power, and poor Celebron or whatever, he's just like
poor LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Whose name is way too similar to her husband's name, Galadriel's husband's name.
Who is dead? ?
Oh, well, he's there in the movies, so like
missing here.
Yeah.
God, whatever. Stop, show.
Yeah, he'll show up when she's about to be stabbed or
yeah. Shink.
Right.
He'll block somebody's sword as it's coming down on her head. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah. That's why this show is resorting to cheap tactics like that is beyond me, but okay. I mean, I'll make fun of it just the same every time it does it.
Yeah.
I think that, the fact that we haven't seen the rings yet is a little surprising.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was going to be the big reveal in the next episode, but
might be. I doubt
he doesn't
it,
have the materials for it. He doesn't have the fire for it. He doesn't have anything going right now. It's like, okay, your project is going to take a long time, but he's an elf. He's got hundreds of years. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. So he thinks.
So he thinks. Yeah.
So he thinks. Yeah. There's nothing with that story has really progressed. We've seen Celebrimbor twice now.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume he's probably going to show up again next episode in some form or fashion because Elrond is going back now to oh God, not Lothlorien.
I almost said Lothlorien. Yeah.
It's the other one. The one that we hadn't seen up until this point in the show or in, I guess, anything in Lord of the Rings. But I assume we're going to see his dad. We're going to see Celebrimbor again. I'm sure he'll tell them about the Mithril. I think for me, like that's the most interesting storyline still in this show is everything with the dwarves. And I think I said that the first time we saw them, which was the second episode, because they weren't in the first episode of the show.
Right.
But I think that was our response then was this is the best part of the show by a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as we round the bend here at the final episode, the second to last episode of the season, I think it's still the case. Yeah. Even when they jam pack all 4 storylines into one episode.
Well, Peter Mullen, that guy is just amazing.
Yeah, right. Even under all that goddamn makeup.
Yeah, and that fucking beard. How much does that beard weigh, you think?
Oh, I have no idea, dude, but it's got to be a lot. He looks great in that makeup, too.
He does.
And there is something to be said for having an actor with his pedigree, a Scottish actor playing a dwarf, because for whatever reason, a Scottish accent coming out of a dwarf's mouth sounds right. Right? Kind of the way, again, we don't like The Hobbit, but casting Billy Connolly as a dwarf was pretty inspired. As bad as that is, him as an actor is still something as a dwarf is something that I enjoyed about those movies. So,
do you notice the way that they shoot those dwarves too? They give them a ton of headroom, even when it's a dwarf versus dwarf. They give them so much headroom to really help make them feel smaller in the frame, that they're not just 2 human-sized people inside of this frame.
Which I appreciate. I mean, the show is doing as good of a job as the movies did in not tricking you, but keeping consistent with the gimmick or keeping the magic consistent, because it's a magic trick. I mean, this is just a simple movie magic trick of doing forced perspective. And I mean, there's a scene with Elrond and Doran that's pretty good. They show them kind of a pretty wide shot of the 2 of them, and he's huge and he's tiny, and it puts in perspective because, again, the show is, like you said, the show does a pretty good job of it, especially with the dwarfs. I mean, the Harfoots too, I think.
Well, especially this episode when the one person is putting her hand on the fire, and you see, I mean, they're also on like a rise, and the Harfoots are below, but it makes them even smaller. It's like, these people are towering over these Harfoots. And it really makes you appreciate how the Harfoots feel in the world, that everything is a threat to them. Because, I mean, a warg is like 4 times as big to them as it is to a regular sized person. So it's like, my God, they're barely a snack to a warg.
And that is what I've always appreciated about the Jackson films, and now this show, is they really do a good job at keeping it consistent with the way the races look and interact with one another. The production design, I don't think anyone's ever gonna, as much as those Hobbit movies kind of stink, at least the third one, they're still really good from a production value of the production. The quality of the production is just, you don't get any better than Weta Workshops and Peter Jackson's eye with those things. And they've kept it consistent with the show. This episode, for whatever reason, looks more Jackson than a lot of the other ones we've seen. But I think that the show's a big success of this first season is really staying true to a source material interpretation that a large portion of the fan base enjoy. Because we both know that not everybody likes Lord of the Rings via Peter Jackson, and there are problems with it versus the source material. But I think more fans of Lord of the Rings than not like the movies, which is why this show is an extension of the movies tonally. Consistently throughout. I think even when the show is kind of hewing closer to horror, like it did in the one episode with the orc kind of coming in through the ground, which I forgot was this show, and that this was this season, and it was like fucking 5 episodes ago. It's still, I think, hews very close to what Jackson's initial idea was for the world that Lord of the Rings exists in.
100%.
Yeah. We'll see. I hope that the show sticks the landing. It chose to not do a full 10 episode offering. It chose to do 8. Game of Thrones has another week, I think, past this. So Lord of the Rings has taken itself off the table 1 week early. So we'll see. I think, again, like it's got some weird energy going into this last episode, because this episode felt pretty much like a finale. Like, and I read some reviews online, and everybody's echoing that. Like, everybody's like, this episode's weird, only because it feels like all the stories kind of meet a logical conclusion to jump off for a new season. So maybe the next episode is going to be, like you said, it probably will just be a bunch of reveals or something. Like, that's something is going to recontextualize the season. I feel like
they want us talking about this for the next 2 years. This is, the best of both worlds season finale from Star Trek The Next Generation. This is one of these, like, they have to build this up to a cliffhanger so that when you watch this, in a binge watch, 10 years from now, and you're just like, oh, this feels like it must have been the end of the first season or something. And then they like hit you with this next one, and you're just like, oh, this was the end of the first season. That's right.
And I feel like that's what's going to happen, right? It feels like they're planning something big for the final episode. And maybe they haven't been revealing the names of the episodes for this episode alone. Maybe the final episode of the first season, maybe its name means something or matters to the plot more than we know. I don't know. I mean, it's been weird, in my opinion, that they have not told us the names of the episodes. It feels very intentional. Maybe it's intentional for a reason for this last episode. But I agree. It feels like they've, like you said, anymore in the day of kind of, I don't know, entertainment through spectacle, because that's kind of what Lord of the Rings is. Like, it's a spectacle, right? Like, it is. It's a high fantasy, fantasy opera of all these characters, whatever. It feels like they need to give us that to stand out, because Game of Thrones is going to, they're going to. Anyone who's seen that show knows they're going to have to. And this show has to as well. Yeah, because like you said, it needs to end on a very, very, very strong foot, a strong foot, a strong hard foot, a brandy foot. I'm just waiting for that flash forward at the end of the show where it morphs Nori's face into Frodo's. And then we both are just like slamming our heads on the table going, I swear to fucking God, no. It's not going to happen. So as we come into the final episode of the season, what are your hopes for what we get out of the final episode?
Well, I'm hoping that the stranger puts on some yellow boots and starts singing.
God damn it. Me too, frankly.
I'm hoping, I don't know what I'm hoping for versus what I expect,
right.
Like.
Okay, well, let's say, what are you hoping for and what do you expect?
I'm expecting that Celebron will be like, oh, and here are my plans, and like unrolls this thing, and here's like
the ring shot.
It's just a circle, and he's like, for kids.
What's that? A ring? Yes, it's a ring. Stop asking me about it.
Do you have everybody's ring sizes? How did you get those?
Yeah, did you ask Durin, like, what size ring are you?
Yeah.
For like a ring of power.
Right. Yeah, I want to give you a gift. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think there's going to be a lot of reveals. I think we're finally going to find out who the stranger is. I think, to your point, we'll find out who's pulling Adar's strings. If I think we will find out. Oops, sorry. I didn't realize the buzzer was on.
Your brownies are ready.
Yeah. I think we will find out who Halbrand is, or a little bit more about his story. And we're going to have the Harfoots, I guess, rescue the stranger. But I think that'll be the big reveal next time. So
the stranger.
Yeah. And then I kind of don't give a shit about a lot of the other stuff. I mean, I don't know where we're going to go with the dwarf story to wrap that up, unless it does continue on with that Disa as evil Beasta going on.
Right, which I think that would be interesting. I'm game for that. Like, wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah, because I love her character. And
right, now all the internet racists can be right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It would be out of left field. It would be completely, but it would be completely earned, because it's only one scene, but like, it did up until it didn't, it felt okay. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, this took a very hard turn. But up until the moment right before it took a turn, like, it was believable. Like, she was making sense and you could understand why she would be upset. But it's like that turning of the dial further that feels like maybe there's something else going on. Maybe it should have been called The Eyes, not The Eye. Yeah, I think for me, my hope is that one of the unnamed characters or misnamed characters gets a correct name, or like you mentioned with Halbrand, like a better direction given. And yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like the Galadriel stuff, okay. Like the Harfoot stuff with the Harfoots, I think is like you said, it's going to be a big part of it. And I think the stuff with Elrond going back to the Elf City is also going to be a big part of it. I hope they have there's some reveals, but if they don't reveal who the stranger is at the end of this season, like does it? Or when do they then? Because if you make it out of this season without revealing it, like all bets are off, right?
Yeah. Well. If they go through the entire first season of Twin Peaks without revealing who killed Laura Palmer, I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like this show has done it to itself in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it's like anytime you have a character who looks like a character that half of, if not everybody in the world knows, then you can't blame us for wondering who the fuck he is throughout the entire first episode or first season of the show. Like that's not on us. That's on the creators of the show. That was an intent. So I hope they answer it. But if they don't, like, then it'll be a reveal down the road. And hopefully that reveal, I would assume, has some value in waiting. So who knows?
Fingers crossed.
All I know is we're not going to get a title until we're talking about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ, man. Give it a rest, Amazon.
Next season, they just reveal all the titles. They're just like, this is it. A week before we air, here's all the titles.
I mean, are we supposed to think that, like who cares? I guess they care. I guess Amazon cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, the way that they ended the episode with the thing with Mordor was pretty cheesy. They should have ended it with that goddamn Balrog reveal because that was fucking great.
That was
just
nice.
to show the leaf falling, and then it gets burned up by the Balrog. Like, you can't write that scene any better. That's why they wrote it the way that they wrote it. That was a perfect reveal. And then they have this like dorky Indiana Jones blazing saddles burning of the map. It's like, oh dear, whatever, fine.
Yeah. It
had a good
cringy.
thing. He gilded the lily just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, even if Adar was just like, this is no longer the Southlands, this shall now be known as Mordor. I was just like, oh, I like that. But having it as a graphic reveal, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, get it? It's Mordor. Get it? That's where the third movie takes place. Like, yeah, I know. I think we know.
That was.
You didn't even have to tell us it was Mordor.
No.
Like, Jesus, what do you think? What do you think we think it is? Like,
even, end the line. He's like, this is no longer the Southlands. Go up, go off, go back to the mines of Moria and show what's going on. And that's it. Yeah. We don't need that.
Yeah. I wonder who made that call, because that feels like a misstep, because they had a really compelling way to leave this episode on a cliffhanger with that Balrog. Yeah. That's not a cliffhanger. We know it's Mordor. That Balrog is a hell of a cliffhanger. And you know what? That might not come to fruition for a season or two.
No.
If that, like, it's all the, like, that leaf falls for a while. That Balrog's not climbing out of there in the next 5 minutes type thing, which is again, now it kind of introduces like a little bit of a ticking clock mechanism to the dwarf storyline, because now everybody, audience, knows what's going on and where this is going. So now they can start building towards the initial, I guess, introduction of the Balrog to the dwarfs, because they don't know it's there. They don't know what that. They think it's just the mountain reacting. It's reacting, all right.
Well, until next week when we wrap this thing up with the cleverly titled episode 1.8, Chris, where can people find you and what you're working on?
We should plug our things like Amazon plugs their TV show. We work at websitename.com. No, you can find most of the things, if not all the things that I work on over at Weirding Way Media, which we have 19 shows, 18 including 18 plus one, this one that you're listening to right now. 19 including this show over at Weirding Way Media, all kinds of stuff, movie, pop culture, you name it, you can probably find it. If you can't, we're adding new shows all the time. So that's where you can find most of the stuff that I work on. If you want stuff that I work on specifically, see Stachiw.com, but Weirding Way Media is where you're going to want to find most of the stuff that I work on. What about you, Mike?
Same thing. Absolutely the same thing. You can find all the stuff that I'm working on over at weirdingwaymedia.com. It's almost like we were in this together, Chris.
Yes, it is. It's almost like we're Doran and Elrond. I don't know which one of us is Doran. I don't know which one of us is Elrond. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family and available wherever you get your podcasts.